Hello everyone and welcome to Let's Battle for Wesnoth. And as you can see, the Dwarven Doors, as you can see from the UI here, I have managed to get past this scenario, which was rather difficult, as you could have seen in the first two attempts that I did of this and made it into an episode. Yeah, it was rather hard going, but this is actually my third try, which I attempted right after the second restart that I did, and I have the voice recording and all that, the commentary, but there are a couple of points where I really got so-called triggered at the certain collection or certain progression of RNG results at a really important and crucial point around the middle of this recording or play that I just got really mad at. And well, I mean, I didn't want to start the year with me whinging and raging, so I decided to do AAR, just try to focus on the gameplay at hand. And there's some weird stuff that went on in this, and you definitely see it. I don't know whether it has to do with the AI kind of not really adjusting well to the situations, but there's certain times where I felt rather strange about the results and how the AI behaved, how I behaved. So yeah, let's go ahead. Okay, so yeah, the defaulter here is trying to describe, because we almost approached the Dwarven Doors, which really does you can, I don't know, I can actually move the screen right now, but yeah, I mean, defaulter definitely sees the Dwarven Doors in front of them. But yeah, I mean, Konrad is being a bit considerate to those around him. I guess poor villages, of course, under the rule of the Orcs. I mean, the Orcs are not really, homicidal maniacs. They do keep around some poor folks, perhaps human folks, around to maybe use as slaves or labor, or use them against the dwarves. So I mean, if that is the case, then dwarves are not be too kind to the humans. Yeah, held slavery by the orcs, but they traded with the dwarves before, so I mean, they were on friendly terms, it seems. Slaves to the evil orcs, yeah. But then Delphador wants to give Konrad a lesson in pragmatism, perhaps. So yeah, the only important thing right now is to get to the doors, and this is my focus of play in this particular attempt. Just get to the doors as fast as possible. And this guy is a rather interesting unit. I did recruit him at the last moment in the previous scenario, and this guy has become a very, I mean, yeah, it has become a rather integral unit for a unit that I just recruited. I'm not so sure how, but that kind of gives me a thought that every unit, balanced unit in terms of variety, is the key to being successful in the scenarios. I didn't really think that I need a scout before, because there's really no fog of war in this game, at least in the default settings. There may be fog of war that can be modded in, but default settings, they don't have any fog of war, so I thought the scouts are not really that needed. Only thing it's good for is to, capture as many villages as possible and outrun the enemy. Especially the elf scouts, they can basically traverse forest as if it was an open terrain or field. So in that case, yeah, it may have been pretty useful to use them as a bit of a flanking hit and run tactic unit. But this guy is really versatile. I didn't realize it, but they can actually shoot bows, and it's not a slouch in terms of its HP as well. It can absorb some damage. So I mean, they're scouts, but then yeah, they're different kind of scouts. They're not weak at all. They're able to stand toe to toe with like Orcish Grunt, level 1 or level 2, before they have to fall back. Of course, I mean, during the night it becomes rather hard to do that. Alright, so yeah, the thing is, yeah, this guy appears, Gwegwin, and I hear that this particular character only appears when you take the Bay of Pearls. Yeah, I don't know exactly how it is related, but it's really nice to see I think Kalenz has mentioned this, has brought up to my attention that this is kind of branching off a consequence for the choice I had made earlier. So I was rather impressed that this game tracks everything. And this game, yeah, I mean, this game has certain things that they checks off as you play this campaign. And I hope that kind of user experience or user choice is preserved in some file that is compatible along different versions. Because I did upgrade, well, I did update this game to 1.13.6, which is the latest version that was released late last year. Yeah, I'm sorry if I seem to be going off tangent. I don't know, I want to do that for some reason, but yeah, I hope that this doesn't crash the game or something like that. But yeah, I'm really impressed that this game tracks these kinds of choices, and then you can have a different experience depending on what kind of branch that you have decided to be on. Yeah. So this guy's mentioning his uncle, and I was kind of confused that by mentioning grain carts that his uncle used to evade orcs or trick the orcs, to survive in this land. I thought that I could use those carts as well, but you see that it's really not the case. He must be hiding in one of those villages. Yeah, I mean, I thought the grain carts were some key to gaining leverage against this orc horde that is about to converge upon us. But yeah, it doesn't really have any bearing. It's just explaining that that guy is a pretty valuable unit. Alright, so it seems that we have a pretty good, what do you call it, gaggle of units. Some very experienced units, and this guy becoming a pretty important unit as well. And as you can see, these units, especially the level 1 or 2 units, yeah, these 2 units do gain a bit of bonus, and it is reflected here. 7 times 2 club, I think, instead of 5 or 4, because Konrad now has leadership as the being lord. It provides a bit of a boost to the attacks and perhaps maybe defense. I'm not so sure, but maybe not the defense, but provides attacking prowess by increasing the So it's really nice. Yeah, it's really nice that there's another leadership unit. I mean, this guy not only gains a whole lot of HP and a substantial amount of damage in sword and bow, but also provides leadership. So it's a huge thing for us to have. It's become one of the most important units, really. Alright, so alright, maybe hear this cricket signaling the impending dusk, which is kind of difficult as we try to meet them head on. The orcs are not really resting here, they're just trying to draw a beeline at us. The scouts and the local heroes march out. And yeah, okay, so let's just check the variety of units that I brought in. I brought 2 marksmen, the best marksmen that, well, I mean, I guess the only marksman that we have, a very good unit in terms of offense. They are able to do pretty well in the forest here and can hold their own against a few units that they bring. The orcs will bring. It seems that I also brought a druid in order to support the heroes. Well, not the hero, but then the unique units. Yeah, and of course a tank. I recalled a lot of veterans here, so I'm just going full on quality to face up against the orcs and kind of measuring what kind of units that they're bringing in response. So let's see what happens. Yeah, so this guy is a second faction, and as you can see, it's like a horde of whelps for some reason, and they are pretty pretty good in terms of mobility. They can move around 5 movement, I guess 5 hexes per turn, and brings a pretty good attacks. Perhaps because they're rather cheap. They do bring 2 attacks of impact damage. So these guys affected by impact, I'm not so sure. Don't think so. Yeah, they don't really have any resistance you know, kind of... They don't have any resistance weakness against impact. But the troll whelp, I guess, is cheap, so they can bring a whole horde of them to overwhelm us. And let's see what this guy does. To support their kinsmen to the right. Alright, so it is mostly archer unit level 2, so they're going for quality as well, as opposed to the other guy who's going for numbers. And one orcish grunt. So these guys, yeah, they're going to be pretty handful to defeat. So I think I'm going to go for a lot of melee units to counter these guys. And the tank here, the highwayman, is a perfect unit for it. Unless we fight in the rather defensive zones right here in the hills and the mountains, where it can get pretty hard for this guy to land a shot. So let's see what happens. Alright, so the last faction here, yeah, brings a really 19 times 2. Yeah, this becomes whether a horrible unit to go up against, especially during the night. It's dusk, but I mean, I guess this is affected by leadership of this guy, but yeah, 19 damage is what this guy is going to have during the night. And a fast unit to harass us as fast as possible and try to, you know, kind of bottle us in here on all three sides, and it's going to be very bad. The only thing I have against these guys converging and trying to defeat us at the same time is this snowy hexes that, as you could have seen in the last scenario, really deters the movement. Let's see. Yeah, frozen means that, yeah, around 20 to 40% defense, and also increases in the movement point cost. Alright, so we have seen this rather interesting setup from the Orcs, and see how I react. Okay, yes. The defense of the Dwarves must have been pretty strong. And the Ruined Towers, I think, is referring to right here. The towers, as you can see, has been all broken down. And there's a particular scene here where I didn't realize certain things about this particular keep or the towers that really takes me aback. You will see later. Alright, so the major light becomes the center of our defense, or yeah, I think defense in the few turns thereafter. Now he's trying to just go out as fast as possible through the forest, or I mean, you can just go wherever he pleases. And the second round of recalls and recruit. So bring one ranger, pretty good against the orcs in the forest, especially gets 60% defense. And Samvan, yeah, particularly because I'm sending the elfish scout right here to capture the outlying villages as fast as possible. Kind of thinking that Samvan can skip all those motion and be able to attack these guys from the different angle, which may be pretty good, but he really needs the support because he's going to be the only guy along with the elfish scout, you know, near the towers. Alright, so I brought one more melee guy to go up against the archers, the crossbowmen. Yeah, and then this grunt will be, I guess, escorting Konrad or something, getting the full benefit of the leadership that this guy brings. So this has been a second round, I think. Second round or third round of recall, so I think this is going to be it for Konrad. He's probably going to have to move next turn. Let's see. Yeah, the troll whelp is kind of stuck here in the snow. Yeah, so it's unfortunate that, I mean, unfortunate for the orcs that all the sides that it can get out of is either blocked by the mountains or whether snowy regions. I do get afraid, well, I do get a bit anxious whether this snow tile might change or thaw, so it might turn into just normal terrain. I do experience a bit of anxiety. whether the developers will just change its tiles, making these guys far more mobile, getting out and attacking us. Yeah, so these guys are coming out, and are they recalling some units? No, I don't think so. Yeah, so like the last time, these guys don't want anything to do with the snow here, trying to go as fast as possible to fight us, and then perhaps to track us down as these guys come near the forest, and these guys would be attacking us from behind as we try to go out of this area. Yeah, I think that's their plan, but I do try to meet them head on in the mountain regions, trying to defend. I mean, in this case, I think attacking forces definitely get disadvantaged in this particular area, in my opinion. And these guys do keep bringing a steady stream of units, as you can see. Yeah, so another Wolf Rider has already covered. Yeah, I mean, these guys really do not have any mountains or snow that really blocks their pathway. Has a pretty good open terrain to snake around and hit us near the towers or even around this area. So it becomes rather crucial that we get out as fast as possible and defend that point. Okay, so this is our turn now. Okay, so Kalenz definitely makes a beeline for that fort here. I think the attempt was to get as far as possible north, because I do realize that from this side, I don't think I will be under threat in this northern area, because they are trying to go around it, and then most of their forces are coming here instead of the north. So I guess I decided to actually provide a bit of a support to fend off these rather weak units, but they're coming though. They do make a bit of difference in terms of the overall strength of the unit. So strategically, I try to bring my guys here. How well it works, you will see soon. But this hero or this unique unit is going to provide a pretty good match against these guys trying to come from north. And also from this right side, I try to bring the scout and two very heavily experienced marksmen. I thought that whelp is going to come around here because of how they are, taking the pathway through the snow, and some of them are actually trying to cross into the forest. Yeah, they're definitely trying to go south, so I guess that's how I made a decision to send these guys here in the forest, and where they are the most advantageous in terms of defense. Provide a bit of an opening for Konrad and the rest of the party to follow. And these guys, well, I mean, these guys are lagging behind, especially this fully committed in the hills. I mean, this guy really cannot get out of these hills if it enters it. So I mean, this guy really is the linchpin of the defense against these guys. And the footpad and all the other guys are trying to support this guy, and also, if needs be, try to cross north and then provide a bit of backup for this advanced party. And it looks like I have brought another full kit worth of units, including the paladin and the soon to be upgraded horseman. Yeah, I definitely need another horseman, so I brought him in to see if there's any attacks opportunity that this guy can exploit. And once again, I bring all the veteran units to bring the full force of high damage and quality against the attacking party. The melee unit, yeah, or melee unit, but primarily because I felt they're really good against the whelp. I think I brought them in to face off against these guys, who's, I don't know what they're weak against. Yeah, they're resistance against pierce and blade, but they are neutral against impact, and this guy brings impact, I believe. No, I think this is all pierce, and okay, the sword is arcane, so that's why, yeah, I thought that might be a good idea. And pierce, yeah. Yeah, so this is probably the end of bringing in troops on the south side, at least for Konrad. So fewer units for the orc in the east. And let's see, yeah, they're definitely coming. Also trying to go over the mountains. Definitely entering, yeah. It's going to be a battle in the mountains and hills. Okay, so it's kind of closer than I thought. They're already here. They already crossed halfway point, and Kalenz is barely able to make into the keep in order to protect this flank here, and finish these guys as quick as possible before overwhelming us, because the numbers, I mean, it doesn't seem much, but they have around 6 units on the field of play. It's probably, yeah, comparable to the rest of the Orcish horde, Orcish faction. So I really need to watch out. Excuse me. Setting up a line of defense, supported by the captain with the leadership ability. And oh, okay, so now we finally found the unit that Gregory was talking about. Yeah, he was right here. I don't know whether this becomes randomized, but I don't think this is randomized. So this is where the Uncle Sanf, this interesting highwayman character, not yet highwayman, but still brings a nice amount of melee damage. So I was pretty happy to find this uncle. I wonder if this guy is actually, I mean, the progression of unit from footpad, but yeah, I was pretty happy to meet Uncle Sanf. And the highwayman brings a pretty good amount of presence in the north, I guess. Yeah, melee presence. And I wonder how Konrad is able to speak from such long distances, but maybe it's telepathy or something. Yeah. So this is where I realized that Grain Karch might not be in play. Yeah, you can just sneak in. He goes down into the forest to meet up with the rest of the marksmen traveling north. Yeah, the bulk of forces right now trying to meet the most immediate threat, including the Mage of Light. I give up the... well, I mean, I guess they'll be blocked by zone of defense, so... but I do get out of the village here to form a... yeah, a line mixed with green and heavily experienced unit. Fend up against this yeah, level 2 crossbowman. And it's almost dusk, so I mean, this is as good a time as any. We don't want to face them during the night if we can help it. Yeah, so Konrad is also out. Kinda curious. I think I'm trying to just get him out of this area as quick as possible. Yeah, so I didn't really try to make him fight or get mired in this battle. Yeah, so these guys changed their direction and heavily damaged my scout. The scout has to run away, obviously, taking full advantage of each movement. And Uncle Sanf could not have come at a better time, really. Yeah. I don't know whether... I don't think this is randomized, but if Uncle Sanf did not appear, then we might have been in a far worse situation. Very precarious. Because these guys are about to form a line, and then you know, present kind of united force here, then becomes very difficult to fight. with the amount of forces that I have, even with marksmen. These guys now, yeah, major battle taking place in the south. Because it's in the hills and not yet dusk, I was able to get some pretty good rolls here, definitely, in the first battle. Maybe it has to do something with the leadership guy providing me the support. I don't think it really affects the chances of attack, the percentage rating of the attacks landing, but it definitely provides a bit more boost to the damage. So yeah, pretty happy how the defense went. And now it's time to counterattack. After this guy, now the thing is going to attack. Yeah, it's gonna attack Kalenz inside the keep, which is pretty smart. It takes full advantage of its movement to try to outmaneuver Kalenz's defense here, but it was heavily damaged in the process. Yeah, got hit 3 times, with 10 damage attacks. And this, yeah, I need to fully apply the marksman here. I think Kalenz will be left here for a while though, it seems. Yeah, I don't really bring any unit to support him, so I mean he's going to be definitely acting as the High Lord of this keep for a while. Yeah. Some healing applied, yeah, and now it's time to counterattack. As I fully make use of the... Yeah, now it's our turn to get the... experience the defensive qualities of this terrain. It's pretty difficult to be able to hit anything in this area. But I do manage, and this is another mistake. I get too enamored with the horsemen of being upgraded to knight. And I don't know, I just make another mistake there. Not taking the percentage into consideration. Yeah, so marksman does a really good job against these guys. Killing off these guys in one turn. It's really helpful. And okay. Yeah, final attack against the archers. Just holding them off as Konrad is trying to move up. And the elfish scout almost upgraded now. I mean, use the movement point to wage attacks of opportunity and kill off that wolfish rider. And Kalenz moves a bit further north. I'm playing rather aggressive here. Maybe to attract these guys. And then troll, I always measure the movement range of the troll at every turn. I'm really afraid of this guy. And during the day, this guy is really nothing special, but during the night, definitely brings a lot of hurt. Yeah, definitely. It's impact too, so I don't know exactly what unit is weak against impact. But I think this guy maybe is weak against impact. Actually, no, actually it's pretty good against impact, so okay. Yes, I don't know exactly what unit is weak against impact. Maybe this guy. Yeah, this guy is definitely weak against impact. And some of the archers probably is rather weak also. No, they're neutral. Yeah, I'm sure that the undead and with the skeletons are the units really vulnerable to one. Okay, so I mean this is pretty good position that we have. These guys all kind of whittled down. This guy's weak now because of the druid. So this guy might be saved. Didn't suffer too much from the transgression here. Yeah. So really heavily experienced units showing their full capability. Yeah, Uncle South is now the... Well, not there, but then yeah, he becomes a center of attention pretty soon. He's a pretty popular guy around. So the Orcish guys are really angry at this guy using grain carts to maybe like steal like provisions. Alright, so these guys are now These guys now have crossed the mountain and the hills. A full range of movement on the terrain to attack us from both sides, and we cannot have that. Yeah, still trying to attack us in the hills. They have no choice. Yeah. I wonder why they didn't try to attack this guy at the same time. I mean, I guess it's understandable this is higher barrier target, but I have really no idea. Yeah, another troll appears. Definitely saved up for that. That was a pretty bad roll. Despite being in the village, I got hit all 3 tries from the Wolf Rider. Okay, so we are back. And kind of precarious position, being attacked from all sides. But then the saving grace is that these guys are now rather hurting. And for example, I don't know what happened, but I mentioned this before, but this guy moved here, mountains of all cases, and maybe this guy thought the mountains might provide a better defensive value. That's true, but I mean, if it attacked this guy along with, this guy, could have killed off my really valuable horseman, now on the verge of being upgraded. But they didn't take the chance, and yeah, I was pretty thankful for that. Maybe they thought that they could finish him. Could be true, but I mean, obviously this guy is weak against Pierce, and this guy is master of Pierce attacks, so I don't know exactly what happened. Maybe this is not... Well, I mean, it could have damaged the horseman by 10, I think. And has 3 chances too, so... Yeah, definitely should count myself very lucky. Maybe they thought that this captain is going to provide a bit of support for this guy. I don't know, there's kind of complicated math going on here, I'm not so sure exactly, but definitely more dynamic than the Panzer General or People's General's AI. Maybe they have less things to work with or something. Yeah, that's what I do, just continuing to fend off, and of course all this healing helps. But yeah, Paladin comes down to face up against the troll whelp. Very good unit against the trolls. Kind of flicks off its impact attacks. And then the highwayman is also going east to support against the trolls. Kalenz comes back, yeah, giving up that village. And to consolidate our army in the north. Marksman does a really good job. Misses a few, but not too bad. Yeah, we just make really quick work against those level 1 units. And Druid also engages in the attack now. Definitely a unit to watch out for. I ended my first or the second attempt at this scenario because I let the Druid expose here, and then he was able to kill the Druid. These 2 grunts, I don't know exactly what unit it was, but 2 grunts were able to land all, I think 4 hits and killed off this Druid on the mountain, so that was the end of the second attempt. Okay, so here it looks pretty good actually. We were able to bring a heavy unit, heavy melee unit to go up against these trolls. This paladin is really good against the trolls because of the arcane attacks that it brings. And the rangers really do rule the forest in a really good position against this grunt. These guys are a bit damaged, but yeah, they're not in a critical condition. These guys now have to move up and serve as a rear guard, as Konrad now has moved up rather far in the north. Yeah, and right between this protection force or detail. And what do you know, the Elvish scout has already gone into the pillars of Thunedain to try to look for the Dwarvish remnant forces or partisans or I don't know, whoever, but cannot trigger anything. Uncle Sumph has provided a pretty good defense in the forest. I don't know whether he actually takes advantage of the forest, but I guess he does by 10%. But it has weathered some attacks here. Yeah. the Father is still pretty good. As you can see, he's almost on the verge of being leveled up once again. I mean, even if he levels up, he's tapped out. The level's not gonna change, but I think it's going to change in terms of his hit point. Yeah, hit point and or the lightning attacks, but I don't think lightning attacks change now. It's only the HP, I think, by 1 or 2. Okay, so what do I have here? It's going to be... yeah, the trolls will attack the weakest unit. They give them. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like Chris Davis right there. The highwayman, Chris Davis of Orioles. He swings and misses a lot of times, but if he connects, usually home run. Yeah, wow, paladin is just awesome. And that's one of the reasons why I try to baby this horseman along and try to develop him as another knight this time, to be a grand knight. That's my hope for this guy. I used to have a grand knight, but I think the Valley of Death, I went up against one of those crazy chocobones and sacrificed it because I was being too aggressive. I could have just held back, but yeah, I just say why not? Let's just sacrifice for the good of my sanity and Konrad. And I still remember the unit because of how I valued it. I don't know his name though. I think he also appeared as a lieutenant or something in certain cutscenes. These guys really do not run away at all, because I think they know that more units are coming. They don't really have any sense of self-preservation. I do remember a couple of wolf riders doing it, but yeah, I don't really see these guys like running away trying to heal himself. I mean, trolls really do not have to worry about it because they get healed regardless. But maybe the human units are more prone to retreating. And the retreating AI is something that I really didn't experience before, and it's kind of a breath of fresh air. I was really impressed, especially during the... what mission was that? When I... it's a crossroads or something. Crossroads where the AI was just using units to back off and try to meet up with the party that was actually trying to support it and reinforce it, and then didn't expose itself to my advancing army. It just backed off and then rejoined the reinforcing army. I was like really impressed and how they were able to heal. And I'm sure that it's not really advanced AI, but really didn't experience it beforehand. It was just all mob of units trying to tactically outmaneuver me by using its sheer advantage in calculations and how it can control like 5 different units at the same time while I can only control 1. But in these turn-based games, they do not seem to cheat. It's all up to RNG. Yeah, maybe it could have been better if it kind of did cheat in terms of damage, but had consistent like output in terms of RNG. It's a kind of trade-off, but I could have maybe preferred it in certain cases. But you cannot have everything. You cannot have it both ways, because RNG does provide a bit of advantage to me, and as you can see, statistics, it has been rather even, especially in the campaign. Yeah, 1% and 0%. So I do complain a whole lot, but this game has been very fair overall. And I did update this game to the latest version, and then one of the things that it corrected was the enemy AI shied away from our units that were about to be upgraded. So if I was like 1 experience point away from being upgraded, the enemy just didn't care to attack it because maybe it thought that granting it a level up is going to be worse than the chance of it damaging it to the point where it can be eliminated from the play. I mean, if you get leveled up, then regardless of what level it was, whether it was tapped out or not, not only gains a few more hit points to its overall pool, but it gains a whole new set of health. So maybe that's where the AI thought that it's not really worth worth a fight or worth the engagement. But you can then use this particular unit to just move around the map and capturing everything, you know, exploit it to high heavens and not really get penalized for it. I didn't use it at all. I didn't really realize the enemy avoiding that, you know, particular set of circumstances. But yeah, that's one of the things that the newly updated version corrected, along with other enhancements to the UI. I don't really see it right now, but just hope that it doesn't crash my saved games. I do want to update to the latest games to try to see, just get the benefit of like streamlined UI or better AI or something like that, or you know, stability. Yeah, and now dusk is coming, so we had a pretty good play so far. Pretty good play so far during the day. You know, taking full advantage of the disadvantaged unit here in order to fend off against the whole low level 2 or cross mailman, and yeah, attacking them, just awaiting them to send another batch of units, which is level 1 grunt. So they're not a threat anymore now, so we can just play a rear guard position and fend them off as we at our convenience. And then the troubling part now lies in the east as we face up against the whelps here, but I don't really consider them to be a huge threat. Now the looming threat right now is a troll. Yeah, it's a clockwork really. I mean, you gotta really watch out for the next biggest threat, and it's coming from north with the dusk and the troll. Yeah, doing pretty good work still. Yeah, destroying them in one turn, very nice. Captain, and everybody move up now? Yeah, everybody move up. Sanvan does pretty good job applying 70% missile attacks. Yeah, couldn't make it. I tried to be pretty aggressive here because I do think that I need to finish these guys off as quick as possible and then move on. Yeah, every scout is going really far up in the north where going to be not threatened. Therefore, takes the matter into his own hands and yeah, don't want to wait. Going okay, so yeah, this is Tearful reunion with Gregwin here with his uncle, finally found by the finally found in this village. So I don't know, Gregwin himself wasn't able to find him. How are you doing, Gregwin? The same as always, uncle. That bad, huh? Yeah, so pretty neat conversation here. So this is the point where I checked Uncle Sonf, and then after I found out this guy is loyal, I immediately took a liking to this character. Yeah, I basically elevated this guy's status to be one of those units that is going to be protected in all case, at all times. Basically meaning that losing this guy would mean a restart. Yeah, I do try to preserve this guy as best as possible. And now Darkfather faces the grunt, but was able to evade, thankfully. Yeah, the troll whelp is not much of a concern now. And yeah, these guys. Yeah. Kalenz still holding the fort best he can. Doing a pretty good job too, but the problem is that he's inviting all these guys to fight him in the keep. Being the considerate guy he is, based on honor, he doesn't want to take advantage or exploit the situation. Hand it down to him. Problem is that now Troll is either close range of this Elvish High Lord, and this guy will have to retreat. And now we are setting up shop here in the Pillars of Thunedain, trying to allow Konrad to come as well, and he can, and bring some extra units if he's able to. Yeah, so yeah, I think we have just made in time. Let's see if he follows up with that. But first, yeah, we gotta see how this guy reacts. Okay, now we have arrived at the pillars at the most opportune time before these guys were able to reach it. So I think You gotta consider ourselves whether lucky here as well, and now it's dusk, so yeah, definitely we need to make all the use out of this defensive structure. Although for the elves, the forest might be a better area to defend. And finishing off the troll whelp, going our way now as fast as possible. Thinking about the text opportunity here. Yeah, definitely got that. Major light also traveling up. Mopping up, so to speak, in the south. And preparing for further attack in the forest. And Konrad finally arrives. God is capturing as much as possible. I don't know whether that has any effect on our bottom line. Engaging a heavy fight right now, and then I bring in 2 units and I realize I don't know whether it was a mistake on my part or whether I don't know whether it was my mistake not realizing that this area, this structure is not connected, and which means that I can only bring in units on the right side. I didn't realize it. I thought that I could have a full heap of units to bring in every turn as long as Konrad is in this particular hex. But yeah, to my surprise and disappointment, I could only bring in these 2 guys and then brought like 2 weakest units that I can bring. But I've spent a bit more to bring in some experienced veterans. But I realized it a bit too late. And it's going to have a bit of bearing on what's going to happen next in our defense against these guys as we watch them trying to hold out and trying to defend the keep or use this keep to survive this night. Come on, do it, please, do it. Oh gosh, darn it, you suck. Everybody sucks now, everybody. It sucks so much. For the last time. If this kind of shit happens, I'm done with I'm done with this game.